The attitude during the early 1920s was that women should stay home while men worked. This attitude created seldom women with outside jobs unless desperate enough to work in textile mills. Manufacturers hired female floor workers, and cotton mills employed nurses, teachers, and social workers. Mills didn't hire African American women. Instead, African American women worked as domestic and child care workers. As time progressed in the 20s, women began to adopt clerical work and retail work, and it was acceptable for working girls to live away from family. There was an increase in women working, usually single, divorced, or widowed. However, despite this increase in working women, there was still job discrimination and no equal pay. Sadie's Servant Room Blues by Hattie Burleson reflects on this.
With this job, it don't pay me much. They give me just what they think I'm worth. I'm gonna change my mind. Yes, change my mind.
During the 1920s, there were women's colleges, and although many women did not get a college education, every year more women went to college. During the 1900s, women gained the right to vote. However, people still opposed women's suffrage because people believed women had different spheres. Despite this opposition, the First World Exposition of Women's Progress was held in 1925, and that same year, Nellie Talleyrand Ross was the first female governor to serve in the United States. She was elected in Wyoming. Voting continued as middle-high class activity, so majority of working class women were unrepresented. Also, Jim Crow laws imposed by southern states barred African American women from the polls.
Most women in rural areas had no electricity until 1940. Urban women, however, had electricity and plumbing, and they had electrically run vacuum cleaners, irons, and washing machines. Access to automobiles further led to greater independence. Women also took part in energetic sports. For example, in 1926, Gertrude Ederle was the first woman to swim across the English Channel, breaking the male record. Lastly, women also took part in other breakthroughs related to science and technology, like Amelia Earhart, who flew solo across the Atlantic Ocean in 1928. Marriage during this time remained the goal of most young women. They worked until they married.
As for fashion, cigarettes were advertised as modern sophistication and was part of the flapper image. Flappers wore unbuttoned rain boots and flapped when they walked, hence the name flappers. Unconventional clothing became popular, and stores like Sears, Roebuck, and Company had 9 million buys from their catalogs. Women became consumers of popular fashion and products. Women wore short skirts, short hair, noticeable makeup, drank illegal alcohol, and smoked. Slender, boyish fashion with flattened undergarments, hemlines crept up, lowered waistlines, tubular, sleeveless beading, fringe, day dresses with evening lines and trims, flesh-colored stockings, decorative shoes, and close-fitting cloche hats became fashionable. Women did not wear corsets, but instead opted for loose-fitting layers. Women wore pump shoes, and flappers danced in a free-spirited fashion. Women bound their breasts and used cosmetics to make themselves look unnatural, using lipsticks and powders to create small bow mouths and ghostly pale skin. Hollywood films characterized flappers and showed women who wore lots of jewelry. Women like Clara Bow were the it girls in Hollywood and influenced flapper culture.
is melody? What good is music if it ain't possessing something sweet? Now it ain't the melody and it ain't the music. There's something else that makes this tune complete. Yes, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Well, it don't mean a thing. All you got to do is sing. It makes no difference. Don't mean
Flappers drove fast cars and often went to bars and dance halls. They mingled with men without supervision and were educated about sex. They went to parlor games, gambling games, local theaters, and jazz halls. Women adopted a more open attitude towards premarital sex, and birth control gave women more freedom. However, flappers were only a small percentage of wealthy, educated women. The rest of society, the majority, had few lifestyle changes. The privileged women could live modern, fast-paced lives. The popularity of jazz improved social status of women and African Americans. Flappers were frank, socially liberated, hedonistic, and reckless. Flappers were followers of Freud and believed men and women had sexual desires and it was natural to express it. Women drank illegally in the speakeasy. Instead of dancing waltz, which was a popular dance before the war, women danced daringly with the shimmy and bunny hug. Petting parties began where women could kiss men in public. Women in the Bible Belt didn't adopt this way of life, and many older women formed the anti-flirt club. Young and rich women enjoyed these social changes. Older religious women rejected it, and poor women couldn't afford it.